Hello VBTV. Today we'll be interviewing Mr. Rosier, so sit back and enjoy. What strategies do you use to keep students engaged and motivated, especially during the more challenging parts of learning a new instrument or piece of music?
So music is very unique, right? Because it's very technical and we're using both sides of the brain. So good literature or good pieces of music is where we really want to focus. The things that are well written, just like books are well written, we're more inclined to read those books and be engaged in them. Good music does the same exact thing. It gives us more challenges, but also because it's well written, we're more excited to learn and produce a better quality product.
In your experience, what role does sports like baseball play in a student's overall development, and how can you connect to the lessons from baseball to music education?
Well, first of all, I love the game of baseball. I think it's the hardest sport in the world. Anytime you're hitting a sphere with a cylinder, clearly it's the most difficult thing you can possibly do. And I think there are so many parallels with that. I love coaching baseball. And when you look at a team of musicians working cohesively together, knowing their role, baseball in that way, the center fielder knows his job, but at some point needs to be able to relay information back to the infield. If we're making a cutoff, those kinds of things, all of those concepts as a team are going to relate to a flute player knowing what the trumpeter's role is, knowing what the percussionist's role is, and how do they work cohesively together as a unit. Some people get to bat leadoff, they get the solo first. Some people, they don't get their chance to shine until later on in the song. But there are so many parallels with sports in general. My coaching influences a lot of what I do as a band director. I think I have the biggest team on campus when you think about the marching band and having 130, 140, 150 plus. I treat it like I'm their coach, and we keep striving to have better team unity, which creates a better product in the end, more exciting for their audience to listen to and see.
Yeah, that's a great comparison between the two, actually. I've never thought of it like that. All right, third question. Do you see any similarities between leading a band and leading a baseball team?
Absolutely. Starts with the starting lineup, right? I have to know who's on my team and who is going to best be at the top of a lineup. Same with my band. I have strengths and weaknesses, and I have to help showcase those folks that have put the time in, have put the work in, and now need to be the soloist or need to be featured at certain moments, much like I do a baseball team. Some people are really good at the leadoff role. They're fast, they're speedy, they have a high on-base percentage. People who are very accurate in their musical playing are now going to get that spot more often than those that struggle with that, like the 9-hitter on the baseball team, right? So having that comparison and that parallel with those two things, it's very unique.
Wow, good to know. Thank you. If you could take your band to perform at any baseball stadium, which would you choose and why?
Probably be Fenway Park in Boston, just an iconic stadium. Obviously, you got the big green monster. If it wasn't out in Boston, it would probably be Wrigley Field, just because there's so much history there. So many of our stadiums across the U.S. are being rebuilt or redone, and they've lost the charm of the old stadiums, and Fenway and Wrigley are two that have kept that old feel. The only other one would be out in San Francisco, where Giants play, right on the bay. I think that would just be an awesome, iconic moment out there as well.
Oh, for sure. Those are three amazing choices. All right, final question. Do you incorporate any sports, such as baseball, into your band programs, whether through themed events, analogies, or lessons? And if so, how do you do this to maintain interest and enthusiasm? So
sometimes I lose some folks because a lot of my analogies surround sports. Because in my free time, when I'm not a band director, I'm coaching. I'm coaching basketball tomorrow morning. I've got baseball at night tomorrow evening, and I'm coaching those. So a lot of my downtime when I'm not being a musician is athletics and sports. So I draw a lot of my analogies from that, which sometimes I have to then explain my what I call sports ball analogies to those that aren't as well versed in the athletic world. We typically, as musicians, get pigeonholed into, if you're a musician, you have no idea what's going on in sports. And I feel like I'm one that maybe breaks that mold a bit. And I have so many analogies that work both ways, both on my teams that I coach and in the band program. I think when I'm able to use some of those analogies and find those commonalities, that adds intrigue and curiosity. I think mainly my students are just curious as to why I do the coaching and why that's so exciting for me and why I enjoy it so much. So yeah, that adds a lot of intrigue and excitement into what we do.
Do you mind if we hear one of those analogies?
Let's see. To throw one off right now, if I'm I'll use a track analogy, right? So if I'm a track relay runner and I'm handing a baton off to the next person, many times in music we have an idea or a musical theme in which theme A has to connect to theme B. And if we don't make our music go to that next group and we don't hand that baton off, we've dropped the phrase and nobody wants to listen to the phrase anymore. Phrase is a musical sentence. So if every sentence is just really choppy and it doesn't lead into the next one, now all of a sudden we don't have continuity across, just like a relay team wouldn't have continuity throughout their race.
That's a great analogy. Thank you for answering all these questions that we've put against you, and thank you for your time.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. Thank you for watching today's interview. Make sure to check out our other pages from TikTok and Instagram. Thank you.